Discover CoRent, the smarter fee-free future of property management with AI-driven solutions.
Here we go. And share. All right. We ready?
All right, let's do this thing.
Let's get it. All right. Well, welcome everybody. We're here today to talk about CoRent. Hopefully the next best platform ever to property management and co-living. What we're going to do here today is, I'm stuck. Technical issues. There we go.
Hey, these are live. Technical issues are bound to happen.
So what we're trying to do is become a smarter alternative to pad split. No more 15.5 pad split and other companies like pad split, Roomy and several others. No leases to have permanently with another third party, just full control. Built with AI comps, deal analysis, property maps, locks, utilities, and more. CoRent helps you run your entire property business from one powerful app. Keep you profitable and keeps you in full control, right? So what we're here to talk about is this revolution of co-living and what's happening because of affordable housing and the need for more housing. We're solving a problem as investors. So what this does is empowers property owners, right? CoRent's mission is rooted in the belief that the property owners should have full agency over their income. By removing platform fees, CoRent enables you as the owner to maximize your earnings without entirely siphoning off your profits, right? Confronting rental market challenges, right? The current landscape reveals that various issues with traditional platforms like, any other property management system that doesn't give you full access to all the data that you need to have to understand the how profitable your property is, right? And then again, this is an investor call to action. The window for investors in CoRent is limited simply because there's just not enough seats in order to make this profitable for everybody. It's made to be the crucial time for investors to act swiftly with clear values, proposition, urgency, and availability of seats simply because there's approximately 3 seats left in the core group of investors that we'll talk about here shortly. The painful problem currently in the marketplace, significant fees from competitors, right? Platform fees for just the connection of what you're getting, which is the tenant connection along with the host side of things. To be charged 15.5% to process a tenant is just completely outrageous. And I know they've given us the difference last year of upgrading to 8%. Right? And then they keep the first 10 days. But when you actually do the math, that's somewhere between 15.4 and 15.6% of your money going out the door, depending on how long that tenant actually stays, right? And every market's been different from what I've been observing. Limited control over lease terms, right? Property owners often find themselves bound by restrictive agreements dedicated to the platform's benefit, not necessarily you as the property owner. Burdened by management processes, right? Managing rental demands considerable time investment with many owners spent upwards of 20 hours weekly dealing with some of these. If you've got a large portfolio, if you've got 1, 2, 3 different properties, you might be able to handle it. But if you're looking at trying to scale this model, it's hard to do in the current platforms that are out there with like Roomy and Pad Split and so on. So the problem, existing market challenges, current problems such as Pad Split imposes exorbitant fees, right? We understand that. Controlled limitations. Many landlords find themselves constrained by rigid lease agreements, like we talked about earlier. Automation obstacles. The reliance on manual management practices that take a lot of time from you as the property owner, when a lot of that can be implemented with a lot of AI tools and some automations, is not available in the current platforms that are out there. And that's what we're solving. So I'll give you a little bit idea about myself. My name is Mo Matthews. I've been at this game with flipping properties and in the business since 2007. We've done over 1,300 transactions overall. I've done everything from fix and flips, buy and holds, the BRRRR method, but primarily up until 2001, traditional single family rentals, right? Where all of us as investors were trained on making sure you have at least a $350 profit margin or above in order to make sure that that deal cash flows properly and you've got the right cap rate for your portfolio. The other issue is a lot of investors are flocking to multifamily simply because of the fact of the competition of not being able to have access to good, proper single family homes to either do a fix and flip or buy and hold long term, turn into a pad split model. So this co-living approach allows us, and it allowed me by focusing now through all the many transactions that we've done and the number of years that I've been at this, to now be able to go after what I feel like is the best cash flow opportunity, and that is co-living type properties. But the issue is platforms like PadSplit has been making it hard to make some of our properties work and be profitable. And we know that the issue of minimum, you should probably be looking at about a 5-bedroom or above, right? So we're looking at a 3-bedroom that could be converted to a 5-bedroom with a 2 full bath. So that has become my traditional approach of finding cash flowing properties, and it's been profitable. Removing pad split now, which last year out of 10 properties that we've owned, we paid pad split over $97,000 for a cash flow of about $650,000 that came in from revenue from all 10 properties. It's a great number. I didn't mind paying it in the beginning, but I definitely mind paying it now because it's just it's digging deep into our pockets, right? And that's what we're trying to solve, to give you here the access to more profitable returns without having to get rid of some of these properties that you're having a hard time maybe to make profitable, right? So the dream outcome, ideal rental business, achieving financial freedom, right? Imagine a scenario where you're able to keep 100% of your rental income, right? AI-driven efficiency with AI handling up to 80% of the operational workload that it takes to manage your properties, right? And then having everything under one system. We're going to talk more about that here in just a second. Again, this also is going to be able to empower you to make decisions faster, easier by having the data in front of you, right? With being able to analyze new opportunities right into one platform. Okay, so unique mechanisms that are going to be revealed with co-rent. Bryce, you want to step in here and talk about this? Because I know this was your baby in building and helping to get here, brother.
Absolutely, my man. Absolutely. Hello, everybody. My name's Bryce Vance. I'm the tech lead here for development with co-rent and partners with Mo Matthew here for this project, as well as many others at this point. So I'm excited to meet every one of you and bring you on board to join us. I'm going to do a quick summary of what you just went over, Mo, to kind of preface into what makes co-rent different, what makes us kind of the unique and best choice coming into this market. If you don't mind, can I share screen so that I can control it?
Of course, yeah.
And then kind of just go through it together. Let me know when everybody can see my screen.
You got it.
Can you see me?
There it is. Gotcha.
All righty. Well, like Mo was telling you, the kind of birth of co-rent and what made us look for unique differentiation, what made us look to AI, what made us look to have a different approach to this model in this market, really kind of stemmed just from pain points, to be honest. We've got a lot of investors that came through the agency side of our businesses, and Mo himself with his family and his Fresh Start Group business, $100,000 in fees for $600,000 in revenue doesn't sound like a lot. But when you look at the other COGS and the other operational expenses and your other kind of just bills that you have to pay, not only as a business owner, but a property owner, property tax, all of these other things come into play. That's a huge chunk of revenue that, quite honestly, we don't believe that property owners or real estate investors should have to pay, because there's a better alternative. Yeah. Now, what exactly is that alternative? Well, to revolutionize property management, we first had to understand what co-rent's core mission is. Our entire core focal point was to become a beacon of fairness, aiming to give complete autonomous control of financial future and their business model and properties back to you, back to the real estate investor. And to do that, we thought the best way to do it, quite honestly, was create the demand to disrupt this industry and to create an actual solution that is focused on you as the investor rather the platform, right? So a good example of this is, right, like you want a cheeseburger. You can drive down to the local cheeseburger joint and grab one, or you can pay DoorDash twice the amount for that burger, plus delivery fee, plus tip to bring it to you. But a change in that market that we've been blessed enough to help a lot of entrepreneurs in that industry help as well is giving that control back to that business. So now small burger joints can now do their own DoorDash without the exorbitant fees. We are to the real estate investor co-living space what bringing that back to the burger joint is. While doing this, we've decided that the clear and only outcome is to unburden and uninhibit the success of the investors that are in this co-living institution. Now, the best pathway we found to do this is how do we solve what the existing platforms cannot solve or choose not to solve, right? By doing that, removing the reliance of manual processes and the reliance on these exorbitant fees with existing platforms was our core focal point. From there, we decided that we wanted to kind of take things a step further, so to speak, right? So let's envision the ideal outcome for property owners that are going to be leveraging co-rent. Maybe some of you are using Roomie, some of you are using Pad Split, some of you are using XYZ. There's a few platforms out there, but they all currently model the same. Imagine a rental business where every single cent, every dime, every dollar of your rental income goes to you. It doesn't go to Pad Split. It doesn't go to Roomie. It doesn't go to some connection. It doesn't go to the facilitator. It goes to you. Now imagine with AI automation, both helping your tenant and helping you, you can eliminate 80% of the management and operational time drag that you guys have to do on a regular basis currently. Imagine if AI could help facilitate a service ticket, help facilitate the rental, help facilitate any agreements, help facilitate any questions, any urgency, any requirements that your tenants have, and also help facilitate the solution to that. Now imagine before any of that happens, you also in the same platform have the tools and technology to expand your portfolio. You can analyze deals within the platform. You can see actionable insights for properties that you're looking at, for maybe off-market properties that you may want to bring in to grow your portfolio. Maybe even look at optimizing properties you already have within your portfolio that you haven't even thought about bringing onto a platform or into co-living because you didn't think it was possible. This is what leads us to the co-rent's advantage. The foundation of this platform is to remove the constraints and the ball and chain that every other platform currently has. And we did this by creating a flat license structure. So to ensure property owners aren't penalized for being a real estate investor, providing housing to thousands, if not millions of people, we figured why not model the way that a business operations or consulting agency models? Why not do a flat license fee for the platform that allows you to assist the marketplace, deliver a system where every dollar is maximized to the owner of the property's benefit, and have it be built by owners for owners. This isn't an application where somebody who worked in jewelry for the last 10 years thought, hey, let's get into real estate. Mo here was the fundamental pillar that started co-rent. And the reason that's so important is because Mo is and was a co-living and habitational real estate investor. The entire process that we've gone through from zero to now has been built on how do we solve the problems that Mo and Mo's associates and all of you that are on this call have. And we've done market research with, I think at this point, probably half a dozen, if not a dozen real estate investors across the country. We've talked to property owners from anywhere between one cohabitational living situation to a large portfolio. And we found that the thing that is missing the most is a suite of tools that empowers that real estate investor using innovation and cutting edge technology. So we put it together. It didn't exist, so we made it. Specifically to address the most common pain points, leveraging AI systems. Not only does co-rent now automate critical functions and empower the property owner with strategic management, enhanced security measures, which include identity verification, facial recognition implementation. It also bolsters the trust and integrity of the entire rental process. Rather than lease agreements being to the benefit of pad split or roomie, the lease agreements are between the tenant and you directly. We provide templates, guidelines, security measures, as well as full holistic toolkits such as built-in calculators, a full functional CRM suite, and all of the assistance with artificial intelligence to create everything from your application to your lease agreement to any modifications you need, and the ability for you to even import any documentation that you currently use. This leads us to what makes us different than pad split. Now, I'm not trying to harp on pad split. They've done good by a lot of investors. They're one of the largest names in the industry. But like any institution, they have their flaws that we believe we can solve and do better. The landscape between pad split and co-rent is a very stark dichotomy. The operational philosophies alone are completely transverse. Pad split believes in the partnership for equity, stake, and ownership model. We believe primarily in empowering you as the owner. We don't want to take your business from you. We want to empower you to grow your business. Rather than diminishing financial returns, our approach champions owners to autonomy and provides all the sophistication, analytics, and the savvy technology to allow property owners to seek greater control, insight, management, and ownership. What this leads us to is a competitive advantage. It creates a clear and compelling competitive advantage that allows you to keep 100% of your income. It allows you the automation. It allows you a single platform to manage your entire portfolio, including the ability to add in as a future development of co-rent apartments and secondary property types. While we are focused on co-living, our focal point is the real estate investor industry as a whole.
Yep.
The market opportunity for this alone from the current US landscape is currently valued at over $200 billion. And it is primarily managed on a financial disruption to the actual owners of the properties. We wanted to disrupt this model. The key growth drivers in this both will impact national housing affordability crisis. It'll demand innovative solutions, which is what was the birth of co-rent. And as more individuals gravitate towards co-living arrangements, both to fill the need in the market of a lack of housing, as well as to fill the need in the market as you as investors for smart property utilization, there's an evident trend of moving away from high fee platforms or traditional property management firms that are taking high fees and relinquishing your control to them, setting the stage for this significant impact, which will allow an economic boom in your industry. The business model that we've decided to create was designed for two things: sustainability and scalability. I've mentioned how we're leveraging flat licensing fees. What does that really mean to you? What it means is rather than you paying 15.5% of your entire portfolio and all revenue coming in, you pay a flat monthly fee to access co-rent with unlimited access to the platform. Now, it is important. I'm a big fan of transparency. Anything that you utilize, such as advanced artificial intelligence, may have usage fees that would accompany that. Very similar to how Go High Level or Salesforce or HubSpot, when integrated with Twilio or integrated with OpenAI, has a very small usage fee that is billed by the platform Twilio or OpenAI in this example. We operate the same way. We don't want to be a financial burden or a drain to you as an investor, but we want to empower you to choose what tools and technology you use and have full transparent control over the scalability and the financial impact it has. The growth economics for this within CoRent's model have shown that in our pre-beta research and analytics, 93% of the people that we have approached with this model saw that they could significantly not only increase their revenue and their bottom line, they could eliminate up to 6 other platforms and pieces of software that they're using, and they could strengthen their local economy by reinvesting into their business and their people rather than having to invest into conglomerate software just to make that operation occur. So where does this really lead us? Well, the financial projections that we've done based on national analytics, looking at Mo's business as well as several other investors that have already come in, that have taken the current seats that have already been utilized, we can see an anticipated revenue of about $738,890 in first year. That is MVP launch. From that, the catalytic growth is looking at about a 15% month-over-month financial projection growth for MRR as well as annual yield for user access. This is going to be accomplished by several factors. One is going to be the CoRent advertising platform and market domination strategy, where we come in and we offer a tech-empowered solution that doesn't exist currently in the marketplace as an alternative to what the status quo is. The second is here after our initial launch, we will be launching a Refer a Host affiliate program as part of CoRent, which will not only allow you to help other investors make the switch and migrate to CoRent, as well as save them money in the process, but it'll also allow a financial benefit to all parties of that affiliate program. Now, I've been very transparent and clear on flat license fees. The affiliate benefit will come as a commission from any member that you refer as a true affiliate program from those license fees, not from the revenue being generated by the additional hosts. I want to make sure that that's very clear. With that scalability in mind, the investment opportunity is in 2 stages. The framework for investing as a ground floor investor, our Class A seats, currently are priced at $26,000 per seat, granting investors a 3% revenue share and an advantageous stake for early adopters willing to seize this moment. What does that mean for you guys as a Class A investor? Well, it means not only do you come in at the ground floor, you come in with a seat at the table. You're not just a dollar coming into an institution. You're not just somebody who's bought stock and doesn't have a voice in this. You're actually an implementation and a key vital role with me and Mo and the other investors to take CoRent to the next level, the next level, and the next level. This also means that we have to limit the amount of seats that we can offer. We have to make sure that the profitability margin and the scalability margin for your ROI is paramount. We are not the institution that wants to take your dollar and then give you hopes and dreams and deliver nothing. So we have to limit the amount of investors that can come in. The expected return on the initial investment is 85.3% within the first year, with a break-even period projected at just 14.1 months, with an upside of financial return after 100% of initial investment after that. This allows us to not only penetrate the markets we're looking for, provide actual co-ownership as ground floor investors, but actually create the vision for the future of property management, not just cohabitational living and not just real estate investors, but the entire property management and real estate investor industry as a whole. Mo, you want to hop back on in here before I start demoing some tech?
Yeah, sounds good. You are on. Okay, all right. So key insights and next steps. So if you're looking at, what's next, right? So before we go in, like Bryce said, to present this and show the back end, this is the best seat in the house, in my opinion, because not only you're getting in at that investor seat, but you're also eliminating any more fees whatsoever moving forward year after year. Otherwise, other than the reoccurring fees that we talked about earlier, right? So that's really the best advantage. Co-rent provides that unique value proposition by facilitating you, the property owner, right? The ability to retain your rental income makes it, the essential tool for everything, all in one place, all in one platform. You, by taking urgency and taking action, you're going to be able to get into that seat. Bryce, you mentioned that there's two types of seats, right? This is the first one. This is the
Yeah.
Class A seat, right?
Yes,
Are we
sir.
going to talk about the Class B seat a little bit?
I think we should. Here's the reason for the secondary seat. So as we launch our beta, which is called our MVP release, it's the initial public release of co-rent.
Yeah.
We're scheduled to do that in the next 60 days. At the time that happens, we can no longer bring on any more Class A seats. This is to secure the ownership interests and the profit sharing interest of our Class A investors. We will be opening Class B seats, and there will be a limit to Class B seats as well. The Class B seats are $56,000 a seat. You still have market upside. You still have a huge ROI potential. In fact, the trending return on that is less than 2 years. I think based on our analytics, it was like 18.4 months or 18.3 months. The primary difference is as a Class B investor, not only is your stake in slightly higher because we've already developed everything with our Class A team, your implementation and direct access to the Class A team is also slightly limited. Your voice will still be heard. Your input will still be vital. We are not saying that input will not be instrumental. What we are saying is you won't have a seat at the big kids table. Does that make sense?
Yep.
Perfect. Well, I'm excited. We've got about 30 minutes left. So I think right now what I'd really like to do, Mo, with your permission, is share with everybody a few pre-recorded demos from our backend, just to show the main flow. And then if I've got time, I'm going to log in live with everybody and show you some of the more advanced features that we've been working on this week.
Sounds great.
Sound good?
Do it.
All right. I'm a big fan of starting with mobile. Over 85% of your market is going to be utilizing an iPhone, an Android device, a tablet. They're not going to necessarily be sitting in front of a computer, even though that's where I spend most of my life. So I'm going to demo the tenant side first, then the admin side of the mobile app. And then I'm going to demo the actual web app, which is going to be full cross-platform as well. This is a fully integrated custom application with some pretty cool stuff I think you guys are going to like.
Awesome.
So let's get started on the tenant side. All right, I'm going to skip ahead here a little bit just for the sake of time to make sure that we can get logged in where we need to. And then you'll see through the mobile app, once you log in as a tenant, you're going to be shown any rooms for rent in the current market area based on your geolocation. You're going to have access to 24/7 chat, the ability to favorite, your direct capability for your settings, your profile, direct market analysis and implementation. Think of this kind of like booking a hotel. The idea is to make finding a room to rent as easy as finding a hotel room to go stay at. And then empowering the tenant with AI as well as all of the information to be able to do this on the fly. So no longer does John have to spend 25 minutes trying to find something and applying to 15 different properties. He can do it all from co-rent. He can apply to as many properties as he wants. As the admin, which you'll see here later on, you'll have to approve if they get to rent that room after they submit their booking request. Very similar to how booking concert tickets or booking a suite at a penthouse or booking a Las Vegas resort operates. We also have included the ability for map localization, which shows and documents all the local community around where a property will be at the time that you disclose the location of that property. As the property owner, you have the ability to disclose it up front or at the back end once that room rental approved occurs so that they can see on a localized map what's in the local area, where the property is, what the property looks like. We wanted to give you guys a unique approach to being able to protect the security interests of your investments, but also differentiate yourself against all of the other co-living platforms out there where the tenant has basically no idea what they're renting other than the inside photo of a home if you choose to deliver that information. Now, here's the admin side. In the demo, we forgot our password, as you can see. So we even have tech problems sometimes. Now, once we got logged in, this is the admin, the property owner, super admin, admin, finance manager, role-based access mobile app. What this is primarily going to allow you to do is have 24/7 access to conversations with your tenants. The secondary focal point of this was to ensure that you had your earnings, income, properties, payout, and detailed analysis of your portfolio at your fingertips. So if you're traveling, if you're looking at acquiring a new property, if you're looking to come in and do some assessment, we wanted you to be able to do that on the fly without having to go back to the office, go back home, open up a laptop, log in onto a desktop. We wanted that access quick. Now, this leads us to the full-powered AI suite side of co-rent. This is the main flow. You're going to see later on why I say that. But the main flow for this is going to go over both the tenant side and a quick highlight reel of the admin side. Once you sign up as a tenant, it's going to automatically go through next step registration verification. We need to confirm their identity. We need to confirm their phone number. We need to confirm their personal details. And we need to confirm the access point is legitimate to the content that they've provided. This will help eliminate any fake tenants, any spam. It implements 2FA, and it implements the security key code verification that expires every 10 minutes once implemented to ensure that bad actors are not coming in trying to abuse the platform or abuse you guys as investors showing your properties for rent. Once they're in, they get full access to the rental ability of the platform. For the sake of today's call, we have put in demo information. This is to protect any Class A investors' CP&I as well as our own CP&I. The process, like I said, we wanted to make it as simple for both the tenant and admin as possible. Meaning that if it's easy to book a hotel room or buy a concert ticket, it should be easy to find a home. Now, as the application gets submitted, it is a 3-stage process. Once they put in the booking request for the timeline that they want, they'll submit that booking request. It then goes to the property owner's admin side and any roles that he's assigned access to that. For the tenant, that also means that at the time that that tenant, the postal code issue right there, the time that happens, the confirmation gets sent to the tenant. Underneath their bookings as a tenant, that booking will then show pending. As that is pending, the admin of that property owner then has to come in and approve that property. If you approve that tenant, which is done through your manage section. And you can see here for property scoring. If you approve that tenant, the tenant then has to fill out the additional application requirements, submit facial photos for facial ID recognition, submit any non-submitted documentation for security protection, vehicle identification information, etc. At the time of final approval, meaning that you've said, okay, John Smith has applied, he's put in his booking request, he's submitted his financials, his application's approved, then he has to sign your leasing agreement. Your leasing agreement for that room and property will automatically be sent both in platform and off platform via a DocuSign feature with the template that you have selected and chosen auto-populated for that property, as well as for that tenant. At the time that happens and they sign the lease agreement, they get billed for that booking request that they've submitted. Now, as an admin, you can see that we're logged into the main flow of the admin side. Not only do you have your core flow for your dashboard, you have your settings for personal information as the property owner, allowing you to also add in promotional codes, change your booking settings for tenants that can access your properties. But you also get full metrics and analytics. This goes over property scoring, member rating, occupancy, tenure of properties, time to flip, meaning how long has a room been vacant, how long has a property been vacant, what are the analytics and the KPIs for your average time to fill, your listings, your pending rooms notification, as well as all reports and downloadable documentation for analytics by room, by property, by month, by occupancy, and so on. We then get the ability to share Facebook, LinkedIn, WhatsApp, Twitter for any property listing or room listing that you so choose. When you add a new property, you get full control over basic information, detail information, location, map showing, if you want to show it, if you don't want to show it, what the member capacity is, what the property details are, what the images, videos, information that you showcase are, as well as all of the information that the tenant can see. House manuals, move-in instructions, move-out instructions, waste pickup schedules, the device availability, policies for each room in the property, home rules. You as the admin also get to see earnings breakdown. You get to see the vehicles that are listed by the tenants. You get to see direct access to CCTV or smart cameras that have the accessibility to, if you have Ring or if you have Simply Safe on that property, as long as it's disclosed, you have the access to view and manage it. Your earnings report is calculated both for payout, annual, monthly, current month payout accounts, and can be dispersed for each property, each room, each tenant, or overall as the real estate investor. Now, we also have full role-based access, meaning that not only does your dashboard as the property owner show you your key metrics, as well as where your properties are, what is going on in the next 5 days, what your key points of interest are, what your properties or rooms are, how they're doing, what their pricing is, all of the information at a glance. You also can control this and have staff control this as well. This allows you to have finance managers. This allows you to have assistants. This allows you to have additional support staff coming in that allows them to do things such as add a new room. Now, what's changed since the core implementation of the main flow? We're getting into some of the advanced features right now. So in this demonstration, we added in not only the tenant AI assistant, but the property owner and admin AI assistant that completely automates your customer service requirements and guides FAQs and information for both pathways. Once you come in, you'll see we've also included investment tools. These investment tools are for real estate investors to utilize before signing up for co-rent, as well as having advanced access to them once you become a co-rent host. This allows you to check house flip, rental income, the BRRRR strategy, goes in and does a deal calculator, portfolio analysis, your direct property outcome, upcoming payment analysis for anything that you would like to either preemptively set, or as a property owner, once logged in, you have the ability to look at that for analytics on your entire analysis. Coming into the more advanced features, once you log in as a property owner, you're greeted with your main dashboard. In resources, we have added in all resources from tenant rights and responsibilities, maintenance requests, move-in checklists, customization templates, access to what is available for the owner and for the tenant, lease agreement checklists, guidelines and SOPs for the owners, as well as what you want to put. Smart locks and camera access that can be found directly on dashboard, allowing you to, and let me see if I can pause this, allowing you to remote unlock or lock any property, any room at any time if so needed, and give you the ability and control to manage security for your properties, including camera access for properties, locations, access control so that you can actually schedule out and automate cleaners or repairmen or XYZ that may need to go to that property that need limited or time-sensitive access. That access can be chosen, for example, if I can pause it at the right section. For example, right, did I get it? Right here. You can see the security audit log. Sarah, who was a cleaner, got access with her code. A failed attempt of somebody trying to access the property without permission was blocked, meaning that they were not able to access it because they did not have permission to do so. They were not a tenant. They were not a property member. They were not a property owner. They were unauthorized, so we prevented their access. This is done through the smart lock accessibility. Now, in the access, you'll see here in 1 second, you can actually assign tasks that have timed access keys. As long as your smart lock system that you choose to use on your property allows that, our platform will directly integrate with the ability. So if you have Sarah coming in as a cleaner at 10 a.m., you can give her access only at 10 a.m. And that access is revoked when she leaves that property based on her time to clean. If you have a maintenance guy coming in that needs to access room 1 of property 5, and your tenants are aware and you're following all laws, regulations, and procedures, you can grant Mike access for only that location of the property and keep everybody else safe and secure as well as the property. If you need an inspector to come in, and maybe it's a new property that you brought in through our deal analyzer, through all of the resources and investor tools, and you need an inspector to come in and there's nobody at that property, you can give the inspector his own personalized key access so that he can come and do that inspector without you having to be on site. This allows you not only the empowerment to not have to be at the property, but it allows you advanced features and security both for you and your tenants. Coming into some of my favorite features is we wanted to eliminate the need for real estate investors to have to utilize QuickBooks and Xero and Sherpa and Bank Access and Rocket Money and 14 other platforms to just see what their expenses are, their utilities, their banking information, their analytics of the property. So we're giving you one in-house. Inside the utilities and expense tab, you get full transaction management, full direct link using Plaid and Plaid Assistant APIs to your bank, direct API integration to any API capable utilities company that allows you to, at a glance, see utility management, see income and expense, see the breakdown of your investments and wherever dollar is going, and see the usage analytics of that, either by property or by investor or by group. Through the host management tab, we also start coming into some pretty cool advanced features, such as the migration wizard. Now, I know what a lot of you guys are thinking. I've been on Pad Split for 3 years. I've got 15 properties. I got 5 properties. I got 50 properties. I got 35 tenants. I got 115 tenants. How the hell do I get all of that over to a new platform? Well, we are currently in process of finalizing the development and the launch of the very first cohabitational living migration tool. This will scrape all of the properties, all of the rooms, all of the tenant history, all of your documents, and all of your billing data from your pad split account, export that into capable uploadable files, and automatically import those data files from the mapped configuration directly into co-rent. That means no more, I have pad split, I have co-rent, I have to move everything one by one. That means in as little as one day, you can migrate everything from pad split directly into co-rent with a seamless transition. And then from that transition, you can actually see the event logs, the imported tenants, the settings for importation, the access and role management for how you want to configure your team to be able to access, and then leverage the marketing management platform to syndicate all of your rooms and properties you've brought in to Zillow, HotPads, Facebook Marketplace, Realtor.com, as well as leverage Facebook and Google ads for duration of properties, campaign setup with AI generation to create your ads based on your properties and information that you submit, with advanced preview and call to action, as well as for Google ads, same AI generation assistant. And here's where things get really neat. The tenant nurture campaign not only can be used to nurture previous tenants, current tenants, and future potential tenants, it can also be utilized to send out a welcome sequence that you create to anybody you have migrated from pad split or an alternative platform. So rather than John Smith and Susie Smith and 15 other tenants that you've brought over from pad split being shocked that pad split no longer works and they have no idea what's going on, and you have to call everyone and manually send an email to everyone and outreach to make sure that they're aware of the new process and the new agreements, in as little as 5 minutes, you can create an email campaign utilizing our builder, a text campaign utilizing our builder, and a workflow automation utilizing our builder, and send them all of the migration rules, SOPs, guidelines, updates, benefits, login access information straight from your platform. And then utilize it, utilizing the template library that we provide that you can customize, to also give them reminders, application reminders once they've submitted an application request if they need to do something, a welcome email once they become a tenant that you want to send benefits or a referral link to or XYZ, because tenants will be able to refer other tenants as well, like an affiliate program. You can even utilize this for marketability, for getting tour follow-ups of new properties, for doing reminders for tenants that may be moving or that have something undone, or for people that you want to become tenants that maybe haven't been, but they were in the past, and maybe they're looking for a new place to be a tenant at. From here, you also have full autonomy and control over all of your automation settings. What this means is you no longer have to wonder, is something happening? You can see what is active, what is not active, what the flow is, how that flow is engaging, and what the actual end result of that flow will be. You also get to see performance analytics of all of this. Then we get into some of the coolest meat. We get into full AI tools. So no longer do you have to do 100% of the work all the time, 20 to 30 hours a week of just management tasks. Not only do we have our own exclusive AI built in that's powered by OpenAI and Anthropic and a few other LLMs that you integrate with your access, but we also have the ability to integrate and configure everything from Paraclete, Sintra, N8N, to even our Fluency AI system, which allows call management, call analytics, inbound AI reception, outbound AI call reminders, process automation, tenant screening through Sintra automation and risk assessment through our AI connection with them, property valuation, investment insights with Paraclete features, deal suggestion for AI-powered analytics on analysis of off-property or on-market or off-market properties that may be available as an investment, breaking down location, tenant's status, appreciation potential, if there's a quick sale expected based on publicly available data, what the school district might be, what the potential ROI might be, what the cap rate might be, a breakdown and an analysis using AI of all of your applications for tenancy. So you'll see in a second, AI tenant recommendations. These are people that are currently actively looking, that maybe have requested, that haven't been approved anywhere, that the AI is notified and seen either from your history or from other publicly available access points as not a tenant of another co-rent property owner that you may want to accept based on their history, income, and their background check. From here, we start going into call analysis. Is it a school district info call? Is it a property request info call? Is it a tenant call asking questions about a property? Is it you calling a tenant because something needs to happen? You have action, recording, and the availability. Once an action is completed, that schedules and automates your calendar and task assessment. You have the ability to create new tasks, create new workflows, create new data sync, lead nurturing, and analysis campaigns. You have the ability to come in and manage all your AI-powered notifications, your alerts, your system, your social, your display for each role base. And you get full 24/7 access to the messaging with your tenants or the parties that are applying to be tenants. Very similar to how Facebook works, right? We wanted to make it as simple as possible. Just a messenger feature that makes it very quick, easy, and clean, allowing you the ability to control all of your business, all of your properties, all of your access points, when, where, and how. Then as a tenant comes in, tenants, this is a tenant login at this stage, can actually submit tickets. So just like on Pad Split, if somebody submits a broken faucet, they can submit that and the property owner gets that notification in task management, as well as the tenant can see task management to see when that's going to be completed. So nobody's ever left in the dark.
Good stuff.
Now, I think we have a few seconds for me to log in and show people.
Yeah, we do.
All right. I'm going to log in as a tenant first, just to show you the quick and easy. So this is live, guys. This isn't a video recording. This isn't something that was pre-recorded. This is live and dangerous. So let's say that I wanted to look at this particular room, this particular property in, I think this one's in Virginia. As demo information, once again, we redacted everything, put demo properties up to protect CP&I of our Class A team and our core team here. You can see as a tenant, what are the rules? What's the availability? What are the facilities? What's the description? What's the actual property size? What's allowed? What isn't allowed? Similar properties if found. What's the monthly rate? And the rates can change monthly if you need to do surge pricing or if the market allows that. It allows you to choose and select dates. When is this available? When can I book it for? What's that look like? Now, when it's live, it connects directly to your application. So when I click that booking, it will pull up the application from your template in this flow, just like you saw in the video, and allow them to actually apply for the property based on your custom templatized document. The reason nothing load there is because I don't have a template in here.
Yeah.
But you have access as the tenant to the ticketing system. I can see as the tenant of a property, oh, I submitted this. It doesn't look like it's been finished. What's going on? I can see the tasks that the property owner has done through that ticket. Now, as the admin of a property owner, you get the advanced version of that because you actually control that ticketing system, right? So let me log in as a property owner. As a property owner, you've got your analytics dashboard, everything seen, shown in the blink of an eye. You get your metric breakdown, property scores, member ratings, occupancy ratings, tenure of occupancy, time to flip for each property, room pending status, pending evictions, pending revenue, pending XYZ, your listings rating. What's your average rating and review for you as a property owner and investor on the platform? What do your tenants say about you? What can you improve? Right? The downloadability of all of your CSV files for change history by room, occupancy for the month. Your management of all of your properties for both rooms and the properties themselves. The ability to add a room to an existing property with all details for said room. The ability to add a new property with all details for said property. The ability to check your earnings report, annual income, monthly income, current, payouts, get reports generated for each month, each quarter, each year, each property. Full resource center. These are the tenants' access. So the tenants of your properties can access a move-in checklist, how to pay rent, their maintenance requests, emergency procedures, communication guidelines, their rights and responsibilities, their security guidelines. They can see their how to pay rent, their maintenance request process, emergency procedures, how to, what the rules are that you have set for that room or that property, their checklist to make sure that their move-in is seamless. As the owner, you have your own. What's the best practice for screening? What's your lease agreement? What's your legal compliance rules? What's your seasonal maintenance checklist? What's your property inspection guidelines? What's your security guidelines? How-tos for all of these, the rules that you have set in place to make sure that your business is safe and secure, your lease agreement rules and guidelines, your camera and smart lock access. This allows you to remote unlock properties when they're online. You can see the battery of these remote locks. Now, this is dependent on your smart lock API. So if the company that you use for smart locks, the actual physical device, because we are not a hardware company, that you buy, if it can integrate with a software, it will pull all of that data from their API and integration. So make sure that when you guys are utilizing smart locks, use one that can be used from a mobile app, right?
I'm sure we're going to make some resources available with access to what's available, what's recommended.
Yes.
Yeah.
100%. Same with cameras. Cameras are going to be API dependent, right? Ring has an API. Simply Safe has an API. But if you just go to like Amazon.com and you buy a Xiaoming camera,
Yeah.
maybe not. We don't know, right? But you'll be able to see history, do your individual settings for it, see the actual live stream with the last snapshot. Your access control that we went over in the video, you can set your permission level, you can set the date, you can choose the start and stop time of it. You can revoke access whenever you need. You can contact somebody that has that scheduled directly through here where you've given them access. You can audit your access. Your utilities and expense side of things. A full breakdown of what's cleared, what's pending, what hasn't cleared, income and expenses. You can do transactional filters on it. You've got utilities management, electric, water, gas, internet with API interaction settings. So if your utility company has an API, it can pull that data. If your bank has an API, it can pull that data. You can manually add utilities in the event that there is no API so that you can actually track and analyze all your expenses by manually inputting those. If there is an API, you can actually get usage alerts to see if somebody's abusing one of the utilities that you have, or if there's a problem. Say you get a high usage alert for unit 1, building 2 for water. That could be a water leak. You might need to send somebody over to inspect. You can see the auto split billing status. So if you have your billing analytics in your bank that you run your investment portfolio through set up so that every property is paid separately, you can complete that in the billing status here so you can see per property analytics. You come into the host management feature section. You've got live upload data files. You preview your migration before the migration occurs. Once you actually start that migration toolkit, you configure the mapping. You see all of the payment history, security deposit, late fees. You see the status of it. You see your tenants. You see where things are at. You see
No.
role-based access.
The one thing that I wanted to mention that's not present here or wasn't present, we didn't talk about briefly, but when the money comes in from a tenant, it's going to go directly into your account. It's not going to be held for a month or what have you until you get it on the first, right?
Oh no, I was getting there, my man. I was getting there. Don't you worry.
Yeah, I mean that's a hot ticket item too. I mean, you know, you're going to get it right away, even the late fees or anything like that. I mean, it's phenomenal.
I
Yeah.
think the average right now, so what Mo's talking about, I was going to get to when I get to settings here in a second, but I'll talk about it now. Because you keep 100% of your rental income, you are required to have a payment processor. The payment processor that we currently are using is Stripe. So every single one of you can set up a free Stripe account in one day, submit your documentation, connect to the API to the settings platform as the admin of the property, and then automatically integrate your payment processing, which has a 72-hour or less deposit into your bank account time frame for every single payment that is made to you for any property from any tenant.
Yeah. Yeah.
And then you can assign access. Like you're the owner, so you have full access. The admin has managerial rules, right? The super admin has everything, just like the owner. But maybe your finance manager only needs financial access. So they don't need access to smart locks. They don't need access to marketing. They don't need access to AI tools. You can disperse what their role-based access is so that you have security and autonomy throughout it. You can even assign, and this is one of the cool things I didn't mention earlier, if you use a property management company, or like if you go to Fresh Start, Mo, you do this for quite a few members on several different of these platforms.
Yeah.
If you become their manager of their portfolio, you can grant access directly through your owner or admin account to that property owner as a co-rent member, and then they can access it straight through your dashboard and you have full transparency.
Yep. Beautiful.
Marketing management, like we went over in video, you can toggle where properties go. Do you want them on Hotpets? Do you not want them on Hotpets? Now, these are API dependent, meaning that we do have to have not only the publicly available API that we have, but if you decide that you want to be a property manager and host your own location-based distribution, you can do that and plug in your profile. Otherwise, it'll just go public to their public profile.
Yeah.
Facebook Marketplace, same thing. If you want to publish to Marketplace, you have to have a Facebook account. Connect your Facebook account, you publish to Marketplace. Same thing with Facebook and Google Ads. You have to just integrate your accounts. Once that's done, you can create them, you can launch them, you can monitor them, all from the dashboard. All of your automation, your templatization, your email campaigns you create, your welcome series, your SMS campaign, your automation rules, your flow of them, all managed through platform. And then all of the joy of AI can all be seen and managed, turned on and off, played, distributed, restarted, new ones created, all with the ability to integrate to any of the core four plus OpenAI and the LLMs for the backend, all to be able to come through here.
Beautiful.
And then you have all of your booking settings. Enhanced member screening. This is the upcoming feature. This is going to be similar to getting like meta verified. So when a tenant wants to, if you want to engage this feature, because there will be an API call for it, if you want to engage this feature once it's public, the tenants that apply for your properties will actually have to submit a photo ID and their face. And facial recognition through that API call will verify that they're the same person. And it has to be a live photo done at the time of application.
I tell you, we've had problems. We've heard it from many platforms, but we've had problems where we had people that were not the people that applied actually renting our homes, and we had to find out the hard way, you know, so that's not going to happen again.
No, that's why we built these tools, my man.
Yeah.
So that is co-rent, everybody.
Awesome.
Now we are still pre-beta. We are pre-MVP. We are still in Class A round. So I think there's, 3 seats left
Yes.
for Class A?
Yeah.
So if any of you are looking to really kind of bolster your revenue, grow your business, take control over your properties and your investments and your co-living properties, and really kind of make a disruption in the industry, we'd love to have you. Get with Mo. You guys can apply for the Class A seat, and Mo will run through everything with you on that, what that looks like, get you some financial projections and all of that, kind of a marketing outline. For any of you that do not pull the trigger, like I said, we are scheduled 30 to 60 days from now to launch our MVP. The moment that happens, the investor seat price doubles.
Yeah.
After that investor Class B round is done, we will only be taking Class C investors as publicly available investorship or property purchase for licenses once it's public. We will no longer be taking Class A, Class B, or board seats.
Sounds great, buddy. Thanks.
Alrighty.
We're gonna have fun.
I think we are. I think we are.
Almost ready. All right. Well, thank you everybody for joining us. And again, please reach out with any interest in